Okay, I think I'm here. Alrighty. So there we go. Okay, there's a slight delay, but I think that is going to be okay. All right. If you are here with me watching this, then you know that for a long time now, I've had this feeling of a deep need to to better understand and get in touch with a deeper spiritual connection. My story, I grew up with going to Sunday school, Protestant church, but really at a very young age, that wasn't just a big part of my life. And so I grew up very absent from the conversations about God, religion, and found myself feeling quite ignorant, to be honest. Um, about what that even was. In my late 20s, early 30s, when life got hard, I found myself becoming more and more open to to learning and to not being so stubborn or resistant to taking in something new, something that I didn't have experience with, or something that I didn't understand. And in particular, with this past year, I felt this again, a real deep calling to further pursue mentorship, guidance, spiritual lessons in whatever way I could. And then, of course, an opportunity showed up. Don't you like how that works? And that opportunity for me was to be mentored and to be coached by Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson is she has been practicing a Course in Miracles, often referred to as ACIM. So if you see any notes and comments where it's ACIM, know that that's referring to A Course in Miracles. And that is the place that I will be teaching from. So if you're not familiar with A Course in Miracles, that's fine. Where is it? This is the book for me that it's like very thin onion skin paper, and this is the book for the last 10 years that I have been deepening my lessons around. And today what I want to start off with is just at the beginning. Like at the beginning, if you are at the beginning of your spiritual journey, or if you're looking to better understand, if you're willing to look at things differently, and I find that sort of in our 40s, 50s, 60s, beyond, we are wanting that we're ready to call in more. We no longer need to be so distracted by life. And so I want to talk about basically our purpose as human beings from a spiritual perspective. So we're going to have purpose in our roles that we fulfill, in careers that we embark on and choose and change, but really about what it means to be a human being on our planet here at this time. And so just a couple of caveats. So the first thing is if you just for whatever reason don't like the word God, I want you, when I say God, and I will do this a lot throughout these lessons on Friday, I want you to hear the word love. Okay, that's the first switch that you need to make. So if I say, with God's thought, loving thought, with God's will, with loving will. Okay, because here's the thing, whether you're seeing a coach, a therapist, a psychotherapist, a psychiatrist, if there's anything that we're looking for, even religion, religion and psychotherapy are many times the same thing. Both involve healing of the mind. And what my goal is I want to help you use your mind in a different way in order to affect that sense of inner peace, which will improve the circumstances in your life. And whether that's related to health, to weight, to your relationships, or the mean voice in your head shutting up, all of those things mean that you're growing and changing and feeling better. But here's what, if you have a pen and paper, if you're going to take notes, well, you know what I say all the time, you should write this down. So you should write this down. Everything, and I mean everything, every situation, every relationship, every outcome, every circumstance, everything has to do with the nature of your thinking. Everything has to do with the nature of your thinking. And that means that we're at a point in time where we really do, in many ways, and I say this for myself as well, there's a level of emotional maturity and adulting that we really need to step into. And part of that is understanding that we have to take 100% responsibility for every experience in our life. Because if you can't take 100% responsibility, you can't change it. As long as we remain looking out there, looking at the past, blaming, criticizing, judging, it's their fault, that shouldn't have happened to me. As long as we're in resistance to that one belief system, then we're already going to be playing in a role where we're very much attached to and enabling and perpetuating our story of being a victim. Now, this isn't to say that you weren't a victim at some points in your life when bad things happened, okay? That is not dismissing the truth of your human experience and the things that have gone on, but it is to say you are now at choice with how you choose to think about these things and move forward into your future. So we have to be able to have compassion for ourselves, but we also need to take a look at the deep level of judgment that exists within all of us. And even just reflect back on yesterday, if you will, or even this morning, or whenever you're watching this. What were the thoughts that you just had about your partner? What were the thoughts that you just had about your colleague? What were the thoughts that you just had about a situation or your child? Right? When you start to tune in to the judgment that exists within ourselves, myself too, it becomes a very powerful force in your life, because a spiritual path, to deepen your spiritual path or to go on a spiritual journey, do you know what it means? It means you're coming back to focusing on self. Everything comes back to self. And it's why in yoga practices and meditation practice, have you noticed that they always want you to return to the breath? Because no one else can breathe for you. No one else can take a breath in and exhale for you. When you come back to your breath, you're coming back to yourself. I actually understand that. I do now. So a couple of other facts. Miracles occur naturally as an expression of love. One of the things that I'm being trained in is being a miracle-minded coach, being able to help my clients achieve miracles. Now, miracles occur with a natural expression of love, which means every time we block love, every time we are closed to love, every time we reject love, push love away, judge others, we are unwilling to receive love. And what we're unwilling to receive, we're unwilling to give. And so whatever there is, wherever you're experiencing lack, it comes back from an unwillingness to give. And I find in the work that I do with my clients, so much of the relationship that is in harm, that is in jeopardy, is the relationship that you have with yourself. Are you willing to love yourself? Are you willing to think kind thoughts about yourself? Are you willing to forgive yourself? That is what we have to take responsibility for. We can no longer say, well, I can't forgive myself for that, or, oh, that was horrible. I'm never gonna get over it. Well, then you're never gonna have access to an amazing life or to let more miracles in, because it is your divine right to, you are perfectly programmed. And this is the metaphor all the time. The embryo becomes the baby, the acorn becomes the oak tree. Everything has a perfect programmed, inherent expression. We are all programmed to express ourselves at the highest level. What gets in the way is our thinking, right? An acorn cannot think. An embryo cannot think. It just goes, right? It's nature. So we are miracles of nature. We're miracles of love. So what I want you to understand is, and this is not going to be too much longer, but whatever your trauma, whatever your pain, whatever your stories, whatever you've done, whatever has been done to you, whatever has happened to you, it can be healed. It really can. But maybe not in the way that you've attempted it before. So many people say, well, I've been to therapy, Jen, I've gone to see a counselor, I did this, or I've done that. But every time you up level in your life, every time you're willing to go deeper, a deeper layer of healing is required. Okay, so that's normal. We have to understand that. Now, perhaps where I want to start this lesson is, and there's lots of preamble there, but the only thing real is love. That's it. The only thing real is love. Nothing else exists. The only thing real is love. Nothing else exists. Everything else is an illusion of separate thinking or ego-based thinking. So we want to help you. I want to help you get into the mindset of the universe is self-organizing, self-regulating, and self-correcting. But the problem is most of us are not coming at the universe, our world, our day, our people, with being willing to be an extension of love. We want to see what people want to do for us. We want to see how things change before we change. We want it to get better before we get better. We want people to prove themselves to us before we, right? All of this different stuff. But when you want your outer world to change, the outer world is only a projection of what's going on up here and in here. So it reflects back to you what you believe. Fascinating, right? Totally fascinating. So if someone has affected you, so there's love and there's lovelessness, okay? Love, lovelessness. The only thing real is love. Lovelessness, when someone has affected you with loveless behavior, loveless words, actions, energy, anything like that, then what we have to recognize is they were out of their right mind. They were out of their loving mind, which means what's the opposite to the loving mind? The ego mind. And the ego mind is mean. The ego mind is insidious, it's sly, it's loud, and it can whisper. It knows how to get you to pay attention to it. And for many of us, we've been listening to our ego mind for quite some time, right? It's been the mind, that has been the mind running the show. It's been the mind, the thinking that's reminded you of all of your not enoughness, all of your mistakes, all of your failures, all of your flaws. And it keeps you living in that place, which means that you're staying disconnected from love. And if love is all that's real, then you're not living in the real element of this universe. You've created a different reality for yourself, and it's a very narrow, painful, sometimes hell on earth reality. So I want to help you as you go through these lessons and as you work on the academy material, to be able to open up yourself more to receiving love and giving love and receiving love. It is an open, energetic loop. And as you notice, if people in your life are showing you lovelessness behavior, then you have to turn back and look at you. Who are you being? How are you handling things? Are you allowing the best part of your personality and true self to come forward? Or does the ego mind come in like a vulture and attack? Does it defend? Does it go for the jugular? Does it make people wrong? Do you need to be right? Right? These are all the things. So I want to be able to, and I just, the mantra, the thing that I want you to reflect on this weekend is we want you, I don't know why I always say we, me, myself, and I want you to extend your capacity to learn how to hold your thinking in a non-judgmental place with yourself, with others, and really work on being able to listen to your thoughts and then hold a space of deep compassion. And then to really start to understand only love is real, nothing else exists. Only love is real and nothing else exists. When we deeply understand that thinking is the level of cause and everything that happens in our life is the level of effect, oh boy, does that start to makes you powerful. So if you need to write that down again, I'm going to say it because I've got some notes here and this is absolutely highlighted. Deeply, deeply understand that thinking is the level of cause, and every outcome, situation, relationship, everything else that happens in your life is the level of effect. Cause, effect, cause, effect. And then to be able to remain steadfast in your ability to believe that only love is real. So if only love is real and you're thinking unloving thoughts about yourself, you've now separated from yourself, right? Your level of cause, you're going to have deep effect from the lovelessness thinking that you are generating in your mind. What is going to be the effect of that lovelessness thinking? This is where we want to go. So please, feel free to drop down your comments. I intend for these to be roughly 15 to 20 minutes every Friday morning, and then a chance to sit, reflect, discuss on Tuesdays or on Thursdays, and then to keep moving the lessons forward as we start to grasp some of these spiritual principles. And the last thing I guess I just want to say is this weekend, or whenever you're watching this, is to notice whatever emotions you're feeling. If they don't cause you a sense of peace on the inside, then it's up to you to ask yourself, where are you misperceiving? Where are you misperceiving things in the world? How is your cause and effect? Cause and effect. Your thinking is the cause, right? The outcomes are the effect of your thinking. Where are you misperceiving and how can you become willing to shift that? Okay, that's it for today. We'll be back again with another lesson. Bye.